We come into the world with nothing and leave it deeply in debt.
The economy wasn't always bad. During the Clinton administration, there was about a $300 surplus. The housing market was booming. Gas prices were low, and people were buying without hesitation. Unfortunately, many people bought with credit cards. People became too dependent on all forms of credit. People shopped using credit, and worse, they began to buy houses on credit. Mortgage companies began subprime lending, a risky form of lending where they offer credit to unreliable borrowers. When housing prices began to decline, homeowners started to sell their homes. Many couldn't afford to pay back their mortgages after their homes were foreclosed. This is known as a credit crunch. The peak of the housing bubble of 2006 led to the credit crunch of 2007. At about the same time, a commodity boom was occurring. The cost of food and fuel increased dramatically to prices that people could not afford. In January 2008, gas prices hit a high of $4 per gallon. The United States was becoming more and more financially troubled. In the late 2007, the National Bureau of Economic Research announced the beginning of the Great Recession, still occurring to this day.
Good evening. This is Betty Brown on NCS, and today we have 4 major economic problems regarding the recession. We have Bailey Blue over in Berkeley, California, where she is currently covering the statewide student-faculty protest against budget cuts in education. Over to you, Blue.
Hi, this is Ms. Blue reporting live from UC Berkeley campus, where thousands of students are participating in a statewide protest against California's budget cuts for education. During this time of economic crisis, the state has decided to further limit funding for education in an effort of cutting spending. Behind me is a massive group of UC Berkeley staff and students who are demonstrating against the recent budget cuts. Here we have the calculus teacher, Mrs. Copes. Give us more details about the budget cuts.
Absolutely. The budget cuts are cutting off funding in the California educational system. Teachers are given furlough days and our hours are cut. We the teachers experience a 10% decrease in our salary. Money that we need, especially during this hard financial times. Teachers who we need are being laid off, which means fewer classrooms and more students cramped up into one classroom. How are we supposed to provide a quality education like this? The educational system is in chaos right now. How are we supposed to provide our classrooms with the materials necessary? It's beginning to come out of our pockets and it's burning a hole in the pockets of students, not just statewide, but nationwide.
And if teachers have it hard, imagine how much harder students have it these days. At the moment, a GPA is not the greatest concern for our college students. Rather, can they get into a college in the first place? Here's what our student demonstrators have to say.
School is just absolutely expensive right now. I just applied here last year, and freshman fees have been increased by about 9% up to now. Last year, undergraduate fees raised about 32% when I was applying. That's almost equal to the increasing tuition that I have to pay.
For me, it's really hard to get all the classes that I want these days because they're all being cut because there's not enough money in the budget left to fund them. There are fewer classes to choose from, and some of the classes being cut are covered in my graduation. Then how are we going to get the education we need to have a successful future? We're already being warned that if we don't keep up in college, we're not going to graduate in time. The financial pressure causing all of these complications just makes everything worse.
The expected graduation time is beginning to lean toward 6 years due to many of these complications caused by the decrease in funding education. Protests have sprung up in UCs, CSU, and universities throughout California. Back to you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Ms. Blue. The educational system has been seriously affected due to our current economic crisis. Not only are students in school suffering from its effects, but hospital patients as well. At Regional Hospital, we have Ms. White covering the latest issues in healthcare funding.
Thanks, Mr. Brown. Here at the Regional Hospital, we have the usual long lines of patients, but many of whom have issues regarding on how they will pay for their medical treatments.
Excuse me. Help! Please help my daughter. She broke her arm.
Okay, please have a seat and fill out these forms. Go.
It's okay. We don't have health insurance! I don't have health insurance to pay for this bill.
Do you have United Healthcare?
No.
Do you have Kaiser Permanente?
No.
Do you have Medi-Cal?
No. My husband got laid off, so we don't have any health insurance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because you don't have health insurance to pay for the cost, you have to pay for it.
Excuse me, nurse. May I have a few words with you?
Okay.
It seems that patients are having trouble paying off their medical bills. Is it becoming an increasing problem due to economic crisis?
But these days, more and more families have reported that they don't qualify for insurance anymore. Most of them say that it's because they are unemployed and lack health care benefits.
How many Americans would you say are not having health insurance?
Nearly 45 million Americans.
How much do you think it will cost to cover those who don't have health insurance?
About $88.6 billion.
How much do federal and state government pay for non-Medicaid services?
About $23.5 billion.
Help! Is there a doctor in the house?
Sorry, must go back to work now.
As you can see, a significant number of Americans lack health insurance today. But hopefully the healthcare bill recently passed will help to make healthcare more affordable in the future.
Hopefully that man who got shot will be alright. Unemployment has begun to affect Americans in a variety of ways. How severe has it become? Let's go to the latest step plot numbers to find out.
15 million are officially employed. The actual unemployment ranges to about 26 million. Much of this unemployment stems from recent closings of major businesses and small businesses. For example, the recent shutdown of the Numi plant has caused thousands of Silicon Valley workers to lose their jobs. In other news, foreclosures are still a major problem regarding the homeowners of America. Let's get a green to hear more about this.
Ms. Brown, so far there have been 866,553 foreclosures in 2010. Hundreds of thousands of homes are being foreclosed across the nation. What is foreclosure, you may ask? Foreclosure is a situation in which homeowners is unable to make principal and or interest payments on his or her mortgages. So the lender can seize and sell the property as well as in terms of the mortgage contract. The Huge family has just been given a default or notice for not being able to make their housing payments. Unfortunately, their homes is now being taken away.
Where's my money?
We don't have that money. My husband just went bankrupt and passed away.
I'm sorry, but your house is being foreclosed.
Mr. Lender, can you please tell us what just had occurred?
I'm giving this family a notice of default. Default meaning to fail to meet financial obligations.
This is one of many unfortunate cases.
Maggie, you stop crying over that boy. Don't let me hear the TV.
You used to like him. Why are you being so mean now? It is not his fault that his father died and now he is poor.
Stop it, Bob. Leave her alone. It's okay, baby. Go clean up. It's dinner time. Anything interesting in the news, honey?
I'll tell you, our economy was much better 10 years ago. I did this.
What's that?
Here's our president.